Welcome to Unfiltered and Unstoppable with Rob Romesburg. Real strategies for real advisors, a podcast that dives into what it takes to scale a thriving financial practice. Each week, we'll discuss actionable strategies, tools, and insights to keep you ahead in today's financial landscape. From innovative products and powerful marketing tactics, you'll get unfiltered truth and unstoppable strategies. Let's get started by building your unstoppable financial practice today.
Welcome back to Unfiltered and Unstoppable. I'm your host, Rob Romesburg. This is the podcast built for financial advisors who truly want to build bigger businesses, create better client experiences, and design firms that scale. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite marketing concepts, simply because it's completely different than almost anything else that any other advisor out there is doing. Uh, as you know, most marketing asks one question, and that question is, how do I get more prospects? And today's strategy is going to ask a much better question, and that question is, why why did my clients choose me in the first place? And this is all about what we call focus group marketing. But here's the thing. Uh, Today's topic isn't really about focus groups. It's about something much, much bigger. It's about truly understanding why certain advisory firms seem to grow just effortlessly. And while others are spending tens of thousands of dollars and they're just chasing the leads and they're working so hard. And guess what? The answer isn't always better advertising, more seminars, more social media. Really, what I have found from my over 20 years of doing this, that answer is quite simply a better client experience. Um, because when your clients have an unforgettable experience, they will naturally become marketers for your business. I have seen it time and time again when I've had the opportunity to attend my advisors' client appreciation events. The clients will come up to me and they will say things to me like, you know what? I brought Jason the most referrals this year out of all of his other clients. It's so awesome to be able to see that firsthand. And when you can generate an experience like what we're going to talk about today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Today's episode is really a master class on creating that kind of client experience. That's really what we want to do. But joining me today is someone that almost knows it better than anyone else inside of Gradient. And that's Mr. Ben Seitz. Ben has helped develop this entire process alongside one of our top advisors, who's also one of our top coaches, meaning he coaches many of our advisors as well. And Ben has been able to watch this program and our advisors use this strategy to generate more referrals, uh, really improve the client experience, like I've already said, also uncover hidden assets. But really, what we want to do is completely reshape how you communicate with prospects overall. Ben, welcome to the show, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's about time we talk about focus group marketing. I was waiting for this.
Yeah, this is something that I can't wait to see where you take us on this trip here, because you and Rami have spent so much time creating this, and we've had such a phenomenal response. Meaning, after our advisors have implemented it, they're just like, you know what, man, that was so much fun. So, do you recall when you worked alongside Rami to create this? How did this idea come about? Where did it come from? Do you recall?
Well, like every great idea that we give or get, it came from another advisor's office. They had the concept, but they didn't really have the structure behind it. So I asked him, would you mind if we took your concept and we put the gradient systems and processes behind it and more of a structure behind it, so that other advisors could give it a shot too, but also so we can measure it and scale it, because that's what happens when you have systems and processes around something.
So was there so you saw the concept, you knew it needed to have some systems and processes. Like, why was it created? Like, was there a problem to be solved? Was there a goal to be had? Like, why was it created?
Well, like we do many a times with our advisors, we look at their marketing plan, and then we look at like where the business is coming from and the ROI and whatnot. So for this specific advisor, I was looking at his marketing plan, and I was there to help him with his marketing plan for the following year. So I was there Q4 trying to set up the first 2 quarters of the following year. But we were looking at where all the clients came from, and 80% of his new clients for that year came from the focus groups he was doing. Only 10% of his clients came from the very expensive dinner seminars he was doing, and the other 10% came from, just organically. So then I asked to see the year before, which wasn't as tracked as well, but it was almost a similar thing. He did not even realize how many of his new clients were coming from the focus group marketing. And so it was an aha moment for him and for me that if we could create this and turn it more, like I said, with systems and processes around it, and maybe a set way to ask for the actual invites, and really we put a whole marketing guide around it, a whole marketing platform around it with Gradient's help, that it could be a really big thing. And even the little tweaks that he made, this is all he has to do now. He doesn't do the expensive dinner seminars anymore. He runs client appreciation events and focus groups, period.
You know what really fascinates me about this whole program is because, when you think about marketing, it's more about like talking and really being proactive. The awesome thing about the focus group marketing is that it's so much all about listening, right? And that's what makes it really different overall. And, we're going to go through some of these questions, but one of the things that is so cool about it is just as opposed to assuming why clients hire an advisor, we are simply asking them, and that's what we are going to go through this whole experience here. So when we talk about a firm like Rami's firm and some of the other firms out there, what would you say is one of the primary reasons or things that separates an average firm from an elite firm?
Being intentional. I mean, absolutely, being intentional separates an average firm from an elite firm. Not just intentional in your planning, but intentional with everything you have behind the plans. So whether you're going to buy leads or whether you're going to do workshops or you're going to do focus group, you better have a track to run on that you can do over and over and over, so you can repeat it and you can measure it.
Why do you think not enough advisors out there uh, intentionally create and design the client experience? Why do you think that's just not second nature?
I think a lot of times there's a misconception that it's really expensive. The cost, and I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to spend the money on something like that. But I mean, there obviously could be cost involved depending on what type of experience you're trying to create. But there's a lot of experiences that you could create for your client base and your prospects that just have to do with how you say something, or how your office is, or what you do next, how you lay out a plan. All of that matters.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I also think along those lines, there's a lot of assumptions that come into play. Meaning, well, they're already my client. Obviously, they like me. It's one of those things to where like, well, she's my wife. She knows I love her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's enough that like I have their business, and that to me is one of the primary reasons why these elite advisors, all of their clients talk about them to all of their friends and family, as opposed to those that don't have that phenomenal client experience. So let's actually talk and explain focus groups. So what's actually happening?
Before I get into that, what I want to say about the focus group is, you asked a question of what problem were we solving.
Yeah.
You've done this 20 plus years. I've done it 18 plus years. all of the advisors say they want referrals, and they want a referral program or a referral platform. The focus group marketing, that's exactly what it is. It's not just the best referral platform that you'll ever come across, but it's really a platform that will create advocates in your current client base. So if you want to create advocacy in your current client base, there's nothing like this. But the 30,000 foot view of focus group marketing is quite simple. You simply invite your current clients, or a small group of your current clients, out to a focus group. What is a focus group? Well, it could be anything. We actually have different ideas for you, but I'll give you some examples of what some of the advisors that do it. It could be just about your process. So you could be bringing the clients in to talk about your process and get feedback. It could be about your brand. It could be about generational vault. It could be about anything that you offer that you want some client feedback on. But the idea behind focus group marketing is not just to bring your client base out and get ideas. What you do on the invite side, and we actually have this scripted out in the focus group marketing guide, is when you're inviting these clients to the focus group, you tell them straight up from the beginning, this is what we're doing. You explain what you're doing because you want to be better for them. But the only way this is really going to work is if I have an equal amount of clients like yourself that already know and love me, and an equal amount of people that have never been introduced to our firm. So their admission to come to a focus group is they need to bring a couple like them or a person like them, essentially a referral, to attend the focus group. Of course, you feed them. A lot of the advisors, they'll give them Yeti cups and things like that, make them feel special. But that's the front end of the focus group, is asking your clients to help you make your firm better, but also making it very, very clear with them that for this really to work, I can't just have people that already know us. Your input is the most valuable. We need people that have never seen us before also give feedback, and I'd rather it be people that you know and love.
So you say invite your clients. So are you saying I'm inviting all my clients? Who of my clients am I inviting?
No, normally you're going to start with people that may already be at that advocate level or that have given you referrals before. Your A clients, people that you want to be around, that you want to, that I would say you start with the ones that you would value their feedback.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong answer of who you invite, but these are small. You're targeting about 4 to 5 buying units tops, because they're supposed to bring you 4 to 5 buying units. So this is a small group. It's not a seminar. You're not putting up a PowerPoint workshop and pitching. Really, most of my guys or gals that do this, they'll just sit at the desk in the front. They'll have an outline and a structure of what they want to talk about, but it's a conversation. It's being real and having a conversation, maybe even having a little fun while you're at it.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Those are points I want to reiterate. You're not presenting. What you are doing truly is you are facilitating, and actually, more than anything, you kind of want your clients to become the presenters, right? Like
Right.
you want them the ones to be in charge, and really, you want them to hear the prospects in the crowd from people that are just like them, and because of that, it is so powerful psychologically. And because they are hearing from other people just like them, and when you are providing them with the materials to talk about, and you're actually hearing from them why your client chose you, which is really cool, and what report they really loved or what you made clear. So, what do you think? Like, why is an advocate? How do they naturally become like your most trustworthy person? Like, how do they become an advocate?
I mean, in general, from a psychological standpoint, people want to be part of things.
Yeah,
A lot of the problems with the advisors is when it comes to referrals, they won't ask for them, which I get. I totally get that, but they give them the platform to be a part of it, to even let them become an advocate. So clients are thankful for what you've done for them. I mean, think about how many times, Rob, that we work with an advisor where we helped with a plan, and how rewarding that is, where somebody thought they couldn't retire and now they not only could retire, but our advisors have that happen all day, every day. So imagine if you're the client in those shoes, they want to pay it forward. They want to be a part of something. You got to give them the opportunity to be a part of something. And this is just me and you, but we're very competitive, and there's a lot of competitive humans in this world. Let them have the opportunity to be competitive.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying when you opened about when you go to client appreciation events and clients are bragging to you that they gave the most referrals. I promise you, if somebody else heard that, they're ready to give a referral.
You were exactly right. What they say is, wait a minute, how? And it's weird. Also, by the way, I've heard things like, "So you want referrals?" Like, I mean, I have heard that, and so, and I get it. Every advisor out there has asked, "Hey, who do you know? Can you introduce me? Can you leave me a review?" And those are good things. I get that. However, what we're talking about today is something completely different. We're talking about your clients telling stories, and those stories creating emotion. And then obviously, as we all know, emotion then creates trust. And then from that trust is how the appointments are actually generating. And you know, it's interesting how just like all of us, we will trust that person referring us more than the person they referred us to, if that makes sense, until I actually understand what they do and I begin my relationship there. And you know, I get it. Also, everyone thinks referrals is like that's what we're talking about. Yeah, but there's also a much, much bigger benefit to all of this, and that benefit is you are going to hear things at these focus groups of, you know what, their office made us feel like family. And yeah, when I got in there, that paperwork was confusing, but Barbara, she really stepped in at Ben's front desk and she took over, and man, that made me feel so good. Or, I almost didn't schedule until I saw these reports. So when you were hearing your clients tell the prospect these types of things at the event, y- that's that's stuff that you can't put a price on, right?
Correct. That's correct.
And what when you are hearing those things, that just does something for you psychologically as well. All of a sudden now you're like, you know what? I am that guy. You know what? I that is it. Exactly what I wanted to do. I am so thankful that they recognize that. And it just gives you that much more bravado to be able to continue on with that client experience. Let me ask you a question. What really surprised you the most about the process and just focus group marketing in general?
I think that I saw it because I was already involved, but I think the advisors were surprised the most how much real feedback they got that they've actually used in their practice.
Yeah.
So they started doing this because I talked them into it, or whatever the
All
reason
right.
was,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And then they'd have their focus groups, and they pick different topics, and most of them you only have one or two topics, so you're not trying to litter the world. That way you can run several of these, and say the topic was how I was greeted. They get ideas from that. Say the topic was appointment number one. Say it was generational vault. Whatever it is, it seems like there's a lot of good ideas given. And a lot of advisors, when I first talked to them about doing this, their biggest fear would always be, well, what if they come in there and they blow my process up and they hate it or whatever? It's never it's constructive at best. If somebody has something to say, it's always, well, this would be cool if you could do this more than you
Right.
did this, you did a bad job or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think from the advisor perspective, the most surprising thing is the feedback they get actually has made real changes in some of their processes. The second fear that a lot of advisors have going into this, which is not an issue at all, I can tell you, is that what if these clients have all these requests and ideas and I can't make that change?
Yeah.
That's not their expectation. Clients are the clients are a part of something now. They almost feel like, I don't know, special or blessed to be a part of this because it's such a small amount that are getting the opportunity to do it. But I'm telling you, it spreads like wildfire if you start doing this, because people start hearing about the focus groups. You make it a part of your actual process, whether it's just an addition to what you're doing, more and more will want to be a part of it. Then you can talk about it at your other client appreciation events and whatnot. So it's like a domino effect at the is the best way to put it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You know what? One of the things that I heard from an advisor that he was most surprised about, he was like, "Man, you know what? My clients really want to help me." He was like,
Yeah.
and once again, how encouraging, right? Like how satisfying when your client base is stepping up and saying, "You know what? I am going to lead this firm." That's exactly what happened. They get this pride, like, you know what? That you helped me out so much. You helped me with my trust and my will and my social security. Why wouldn't I want to help you? And all of us, we love sharing our opinions. Their clients are exactly the same. And if you can reposition your thought process with this everything we're talking about with the focus group marketing, you aren't asking your clients for a favor to be a part of this. Don't think of it that way. You need to position it to yourself and most importantly to them that, hey, you know what, Jim and Barbara, the reason why I want you here is because I respect you. I respect you because you have a great deal of wisdom. And I'm just hoping you'd be willing to share that with these other folks. And they'll be like, oh my gosh. And back to you said at your client appreciation events, you need to find an opportunity at your client appreciation events to bring up these focus groups and how many you've had that year and how many of your current clients were involved. You will find at that client appreciation event that Jim and Barbara are going to come up to you and they're going to be like, "What the heck, man? Why didn't you ask me? I would love to do that."
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. And like, to your point, when you're inviting, so part of the whole, from a conceptual standpoint, if you decide to do these, the way I coach it is you pick 3 dates. So that way you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So you decide to do at least 3 of these out the get-go. So when you are calling through the clients to invite them, they have an opportunity. So it's not just stuck on the one date you picked. But you, to Rob's point, you make it very exclusive. You tell them what you're doing. You tell them how many clients are going to get invited, and I want you to be one of those first 15.
Mhm. And also you talked about it. It could be a humbling experience as well, which if you are trying to grow your firm to that elite level, you do need to be humbled a little bit. And what I mean by that is every advisor says, I give great service. And so the question that I would ask then is, according to who? Y- Not according to you, not according to me, but according to your clients. Meaning, do you know that for sure? Have your clients actually literally told you that? Because those elite firms out there, they're not guessing whether or not they give elite service. They measure and they listen and they improve. So if you are trying to get to that next level, this is a wonderful opportunity to be able to do that. Heck, who knows? You might hear something from Barbara who's 89 and she's like, and you're like, man, why didn't I think of that? Yes, we're going to start implementing that tomorrow. And so when we're talking about this process, as we go through it, the framework is first of all the planning of it. So the planning of it is what? Meaning the event itself. What does that planning of it look like?
Well, you obviously got to have a place for it. A lot of people will do restaurants if they want to do dinner. Some people do it at their office if they have the area. You can do libraries or community centers, but usually you're feeding them in this. So that's really your cost, because there's not a marketing cost to get them there. So it doesn't have to be gourmet dinner by any means, but you definitely want to feed them, because you want it to be. I mean, some of my people just do pizza, but you want to feed them. It needs So it needs to be comfortable for about 20 people. It might not always be that, but that's kind of your target. Five of your clients, assuming they're couples, and they're going to invite 5 possible couples. So that'd be 20 seats in the room. Leading into it, you pick your topics ahead of time and get that all lined up. You get all the sheets, which we provide all that. But you get all the sheets, so the feedback sheets done ahead of time. You make sure you know how you're going to do the invite, practice it even before you do it. Don't just, we got scripting, but I don't, a script is an outline to me. You be yourself in this situation. That's what makes you shine. But make sure you're strong on the fact of how you're going to invite them, and bring up that you need them to bring somebody that hasn't been introduced to the firm. And if don't sell out in the fact if they say, well, I don't have anybody to bring. Well, this one, maybe the next one, then start thinking about that, because for this to work, we got to have an equal amount. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to turn it into a client appreciation event, is what I'm trying to say. It's more than that. And then really, really important for the people in the room that have never been introduced, we recommend a very simple call to action to give them a reason to sit down with you. And we give a bunch of ideas for that. But the one I've always loved the best, that always seems to work really well, and you make it a for you thing, a for them thing, not a for you. So for them thing is you just offer a complimentary beneficiary review. Mm-hmm. And you even tell a story of one of your existing situations, because we all have them, of a situation where somebody disinherited a family member because they didn't have their beneficiaries in line. And if you don't have a personal story on that, the one that always comes to mind that is still crazy to me. But do you know that Dale Earnhardt, the race car driver, he died on the racetrack. His son was a race car driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Mm-hmm. When Dale Earnhardt passed away, Dale Earnhardt Jr. could not use his name for almost a year. He didn't own his own name because of their things weren't in line. So anyway, crazy story. But that's just one example. We do the estate planning poster where you could use that if you wanted to, as far as the stories go. But I really like the beneficiary review. It applies to everybody. They have to come in and show you their stuff. They're going to want to meet with you anyway. And then you could offer to take it to like what you do, a second opinion of their whole deal. But if you keep it simple, everybody that attended, one of the thank yous for tonight, you're going to get a beneficiary review. So let's get those scheduled.
If I were listening right now, I might actually be laughing. I might have disconnected. I might have switched to the next podcast. I mean, beneficiary review, man, that just sounds so simple. I can't believe that. Yep. And you know what? That is honestly been your and I's biggest frustration when we go to get an advisor to move this forward. There's just like, it just sounds so simple. Guess what? It is. It literally is. The whole process of it is so simple. The invite, getting your clients to invite their favorite friends and family, showing up at the event, making sure that you're kind of coaching your clients like, hey, here's what we're going to show. I'd love for you to talk about it. What did you like? What did you not like? And letting them handle the presentation. And, I would say, and I'm going to let you chime in on this, some of the biggest mistakes that I've seen is that we do turn it into a seminar that, you know what, I know it. Like, this is my stuff. Like, I'm going to be able to present it better than them. Right? Like what are some of the other mistakes you've seen?
Well, like you said, turning it into a seminar, but being almost too educational, because that's not what they're there for. That's like correct. People go into pitch mode. Pitching anything is never a good idea. Yeah. I would say that in a normal seminar, but in this, it's not pitch mode of not necessarily. Of course, you're going to show them who you are and what you guys do, but your clients are selling that anyway. So I do like the idea of showing your process if you have one, showing that, but nothing more than that. We're not pitching here.
Yeah.
Pitch mode's the worst. Like if you go to pitch mode, people feel like they were almost duped into it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not you giving a presentation. And the number one thing you need to think about this, it's all about creating conversation. That and more importantly, you want the conversation happening between those at the table, those at the event, so they can see. And the cool thing is, as Jim and Barbara are talking about your website, and as they're talking about your seminar, and as they're talking about these, they're actually selling. They are actually the ones doing the pitching. They are the ones actually, and the prospect sitting there like, man, my current advisor never talked to me about a Roth conversion. My current advisor never talked to me about maximizing Social Security. But my current advisor doesn't take me to client appreciation events. And it's not you doing it, it's your clients doing it. That's the best part.
Yeah, I think one of the top things that I've seen our advisors talk about it is the client experience. And that can look like a lot of different ways, whether you're talking about when they first come in or to the fact of once they become a client. That gives you an opportunity to really show where you shine. But you're right, the clients will chime in and talk about client experience, and that goes really well normally if that's one of the topics that you're covering.
Yeah.
So client experience. But about mistakes, though, the biggest mistake in this, Rob, is actually on the front end. The front end of people not prepping themselves on how to invite.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have it scripted out. I'm not expecting anybody to follow a script, but if you don't at least follow that model and you just get to a point where you're just hosting clients for focus groups, it might not be the worst thing in the world, but it's not accomplishing why you're doing this. It's not even close, because most of your clients are going to tell you what you want to hear to an extent.
Yeah.
You need people in the room that are seeing it for the first time and giving you feedback on something so foreign to them compared to what they know in the past. A lot of them, they don't know anything in the past. They don't even have advisors.
Yeah.
So it gives them an opportunity. But that's the biggest mistake in this. The ones that have done one of these, which drives me crazy, by the way, if you only try it once. But the few people that have tried this once and didn't ever do it again, the front end, they spent no time on the front end of this.
And when you're saying the front end, what you're saying is that I have not done a good enough job of preparing Jim and Barbara of what we're really doing here. And the point of this, you got to be strong with, hey, you know what, Jim and Barbara, I really want you there. Your opinions matter to me. Your wisdom really matters to me. But more than anything, it is vital that you bring along two people that are just like you. You know what, Jim and Barbara, I know you guys. You guys are so sweet and you're so kind. You're just going to get up there and you're going to be like, hey, Rob, everything's great. I need someone with an outside perspective that maybe has never seen my website before or has never seen my presentation before. I need for them to beat me up a little bit. So that's what I really need to have. And quite frankly, I love you guys, but this is your ticket to attend, is for you to bring someone along with you.
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome.
That's exactly right. Like what Rob did there, that would be a very good way to present it. But it doesn't matter how you present it. It's that make a plan so you're getting the right message across.
Yeah.
Whatever your plan is, be yourself in that situation, but make sure that it's a clear plan ahead of time of how we're going to do the invites. We have advisors that have had their staff do the invites, and that works if they're trained properly on it. It doesn't have to be the advisor herself, of course, calling out. I will say when the advisor themselves calls out, they seem to get the attendance full faster. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Why do you think that this is more important today than ever?
I think in this day and age, I mean, with all the virtual going on and all the different options out there where people think that they can do robo-advisor or whatnot, I mean, experience is a separating factor. Mm-hmm. And this is another level of experience that if you want to separate yourself from the advisor down the street, we talk about separating factors all the time. This is a huge separating factor. Most firms aren't doing anything like this, or very few are doing anything like this. And if they are, it's more on a a survey scale than something in person where they're making their clients advocates for the firm.
Yeah, you're exactly right, man. AI, the internet, the technology, information's everywhere, right? And because of that, I would say that people are more skeptical now than ever, more confused now more than ever. And so trust is even more rare. And, and that's where I say relationships matter now more than ever. Meaning like, yeah, and I talk about this on the podcast a lot. When I recently purchased my daughter's car, I did all of the research online. I mean, I did it all over the place. The AI went through all these different pages, went through all the states to find this car. But when it came down to it, when the car was delivered to the actual car lot, I wanted to talk to the individual face to face. Like, like, do I really understand what I think I understand? Am I confirming this? Did this really? And as he confirmed what I thought was going on, I was like, okay, I did a good job. But you know what? I didn't really think I did a good job until he confirmed it. you know,
Right.
and, and that's why, in my opinion, with these focus groups, that's why they're so successful because they're not, especially at this group, they're not buying you because of a presentation. They're buying you because someone else at that group said, you know what, these are good people, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I like to be around good people. And that's to me that's what I love about this. So I've got some challenges here for folks that are listening. First of all, write down 15 favorite clients. So hear me out. I said 15 favorite clients. I didn't say your 15 biggest clients. I said your 15 favorite clients, meaning people you love to be around, people that you know that are just people that love to be around other folks that won't have any issues bringing along other folks like them. Number two, ask yourself, would these people gladly help me and my firm? And be honest. Sometimes the honesty with with yourself might hurt a little bit, but be honest. The next challenge I have for you is schedule one focus group in the next 90 days. And when I mean schedule, and we're moving it forward. Don't say I'll get to it when I have time. Because guess what? You're not going to have time, and you're never going to do it. Right now, put it in your calendar, knowing that you're going to get it done in the next 90 days. The next challenge is, guess what? You're not going to be perfect at this, especially your first time. Just know that it's all about conversations and it's all about listening. So make sure you do those, move it forward, make sure that you move this all forward because I promise you, you guys are going to love it. I can't believe how fast this stuff goes, Ben. We're already time to wrap this thing up. I've
We
got.
have a
Go
before
ahead.
before we forget, we have a nice call to action with this. So anybody that wants it, we have a focus group marketing guide that lays this all out, and then Rob has other pieces he'll send out. So anybody that wants it, this is laid out for you.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Let me ask you one final question before I dive into that call to action piece. If the folks that are listening today, if they remember one thing from today that we have gone through, what do you think it should be?
I think that if you want to create a referral platform and turn your clients into advocates, there's no better platform in the world than this. So everybody that I work with always says they want a referral program or they want referrals. They don't want to ask for them most of the time. They want a program for it. I'm telling you, this is not on trial. You are at this point because the people that have implemented this, a lot of them have been able to either reduce or drop their marketing, uh, the expensive marketing, the seminar marketing, because this will fill the gaps. And like I was saying, the first advisor where we created all this from, the ROI is just ridiculous.
You're exactly right. And just as you just mentioned, that What we have put together is a complete, repeatable system that you can implement immediately. That's why one of my challenges was just to put it in your calendar for the next 90 days. Let's get it done. So if you are interested in implementing any sort of focus group marketing into your practice, we have a complete toolkit that walks you through everything, including the event planning, the invitation scripts, the discussion guides, surveys, uh, follow up processes, reminder postcards. And then we have additional call to actions for you to use throughout the process or throughout the meeting. And this whole toolkit has been designed to really to help you implement it. And more importantly, for you to be able to implement it without having to actually build it from scratch. And what I have seen from elite firms is that growth isn't accidental. And what I mean by that is neither are consistent, plentiful referrals. The, the advisors, the elite advisors that receive introductions month after month after month, they're not lucky. They have intentionally built a business that's worthy of being talked about. They have created a client experience that people naturally want to share with their family and friends and neighbors and coworkers. And guess what? They don't leave referrals to chance. When I ask someone, how many referrals do you get? And that answer is, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 a month. I promise you that's not a correct answer. And I promise you it's probably 2 or 3 a year. Those elite advisors, they are building systems to create referrals. That's what this is today. That's focus group marketing. This is a system. And those elite advisors, they are measuring their referrals, they are improving them, they are repeating them, meaning they are making sure that they are getting the referrals that they want. Because what we don't want you to do, and the goal is not to occasionally to receive a referral, right? We want you to build a business where your referrals become a consistent, measurable, and predictable outcome of what we're going to talk about. What we've talked about all day today is an exceptional client experience. That's truly the difference between hoping for growth, right? We don't want you to hope for growth. We want you to build a business that's designed to create growth. And I'm telling you right now, the advisors that win over the next decade, they're not going to be the ones with the best products. They're not even going to be necessarily the ones that spend the most money on the marketing. And they're not going to be the ones with the biggest teams. They are going to be the advisors that are obsessed with understanding their clients better than anyone else. Because once you truly understand people and you truly understand your client base, everything gets easier. Your marketing, your conversations, your referrals. All of a sudden, you're going to be like, I don't know why, but we are just growing. And that's exactly why I love this strategy. Because at the end of the day, we don't want you, quote, asking for referrals, right? We want your experience to be such an exceptional experience that referrals are just inevitable. So, for everybody listening, thank you. Thank you for choosing a profession that's far more than just investments and insurance, because every day you are helping families. You are helping them to prepare for retirement with confidence. You're helping them to navigate some of the worst financial decisions and family decisions that can be navigated. You are helping them to protect what they've worked so hard to build. And quite frankly, you're creating a better future for the people that they love with legacy planning. Your work matters. So until next time, everybody, keep building better systems, keep creating unforgettable client experiences, and we will see you on the next time of Unfiltered and Unstoppable. Thanks so much, Ben.
Thank you.
The opinions herein may be from personal experience and may not necessarily be those of the Gradient Financial Group, its employees, or affiliates. Any results, topics, or outcomes are for informational purposes only. Financial professional use only. Rob Romesburg does not render tax, legal, or accounting advice and is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.